Howdy, Space Rangers, Captain Phoenix here. I liked that tier list I did last week so much that I thought, hey, let's do another one. So, without wasting explanation or reason as to why I'm doing a tier list, other than I figured I might give it another go, today we're doing the Star Wars tier list. I'm ranking all the Star Wars movies and TV shows that I have seen. And yeah, I haven't put any games on here because, again, I haven't seen any games, or at least I've only played like two Star Wars games. And really, yeah. So, movies and TV shows, we're going to rank them on this list. Again, not custom made the list, I just kind of arranged it according to my liking. So, I custom arranged it, is what I did. So, we have Jedi Grandmaster, the best. Master, which is like A tier, Knight, B tier, Padawan, C tier. I don't like Sound. This is like D tier, where it's like I don't like you, but like you're not the worst. And then we have I hate you, the absolute worst. This is just garbage. So again, without further ado, without wasting more time, let's get into it. Today we're ranking or tier listing all the Star Wars properties, or at least all the movies and TV shows. And yes, I have seen all movies and TV shows from and it has been updated from A New Hope all the way to the Bad Batch. So I think we're good to go. Without further ado, let's begin. Also, just an additional note before I start, I almost forgot. Star Wars Visions isn't on this list. It just came out. A, B, I don't think I'll be able to review Star Wars Visions, not because I don't want to or because I think anime sex sucks or whatever. It's just I don't think I'll be able to. But I'll talk about this like in my next video or something. But yeah, don't think I'll be able to review Star Wars Visions, but I will mention it in passing if it like comes to talking about my top 10 TV shows at the end of the day or something. I don't know. So let's begin the list with I guess the latest Star Wars property, The Bad Batch. This is not bad. I don't. What is going on here? Get back down there. This is not bad. I honestly think the Bad Batch is quite good. I don't think it's S or A tier. It's not that good. Like half the series is like either filler or just repetitive dumb stuff. But I don't think it's bad enough for like a C or D tier. So the Bad Batch, it's perfect enough for B tier. I loved the first episode. That was a perfect first episode. Everything else afterward was like eh. And then there were a couple episodes here and there which I liked. I liked episode 15, episode 8, and then that was kind of it. So I love the first episode. Everything else is kind of passable. That's what it is. The show is passable. Then we have Clone Wars, both season 1 through 6 and season 7. I don't know why they're in two categories, but I'm counting them as one entity. So Clone Wars, the entire show, season 1 through 7, goes into S tier. This show is amazing. It's great. It's Star Wars at its best. And yeah, season 7, freaking awesome. My favorite seasons from the show are definitely 4, 5, and 7. Those three, oh, amazing. So yeah, I encourage you to watch Clone Wars if you haven't already. It's a good show. Then we have The Phantom Menace. This is not a good movie. All right. Before I continue, let me just say I'm a prequel fan. All right. Um okay, I'm not a prequel fan per se, but I am a good Star Wars fan. And as a Star Wars fan and a movie fan in general, I have to be objective, when giving my opinions because I can't just say I like this because I'm biased. But yeah, the prequels are not good. To all those people out there who say the prequels are better than the sequels, I think that's your nostalgia blind. The sequels objectively are better movies. They have better writing, better dialogue, better effects, but not good story. All right, it doesn't have a good story, but it does have a better storytelling. It knows how to tell its story well. The prequels, on the other hand, it's bad dialogue, horrible writing, and horrible storytelling. And the first two movies really sucked. Episode 3 is the only good prequel. All right. And again, I say this as a diehard Star Wars fan. I love the prequels and I love the world building. I just don't like how the movies themselves were made. The movies are bad, but like the lore and the world building, like the I want to say like the potential the prequels had were really done well, and I feel like they were executed best in the Clone Wars, but not in the live action movies. Again, Revenge of the Sith is the only prequel to do well. Episode 1 and 2 are just bore fests or snooze fests. They are not good movies. So again, that's just nostalgia blinding you to other fans of that. Sorry, but I had to say the truth. And yeah, the sequels are objectively better. But on a biased note, like if I'm talking about subjective now, like which movie I would prefer, again, the prequels aren't bad. I kind of enjoy them more or less the same. But in terms of which is a better made movie, the sequels take the cake. So just clearing the air on that one. But that takes me to episode 2. Episode 2 is also suckish. I hate these two Star Wars movies. Again, not made well, not the best. Episode 1 is better than episode 2 because episode 1 has an amazing climax. And I feel like the world building was a lot better in episode 2. Episode 2 just has nothing. Then we have episode 3, hands down the best Star Wars movie, if not the best Star Wars property. This thing is amazing. I love this movie. So many memes have come from it, so much inspiration. This is the movie that actually had like, I feel like, the most effort put into it. And this was like the last piece of like George Lucas's real dream, like his dream was finally realized. And yeah, I have a lot of respect for this movie. This movie was really well done. And again, the best of the prequels and the best of Star Wars in general. Yeah, this movie is like really inspiring to me. Like I like a lot of stuff I put in writing got inspired by this movie. So I just wish the rest of Star Wars movies were like this. Then we have episode 4, which is Padawan. I'm sorry, okay, but I can't. Also, for those people who say that they're original trilogy fans, you need to like go away. I don't like you, because we have people out there who say episode 4 is the best. Like Star Wars peaked with its first movie. If that's the case, are you just saying everything else after it sucked? Like what the heck? And for those people who say that Star Wars peaked with episode 5, what's wrong with you as well? Everything peaks at the second thing, at the second movie, and then everything stops. At least if you say Return of the Jedi, everything peaks there. At least you have like 3 movies with episode 4 and 5. You only have 2 things, and then no other Star Wars properties. What is Star Wars just garbage to you? What? What? I will never understand the original trilogy fans who say that the entire franchise peaked with episode 4 and 5, and even to an extent 6. Like, you can't say it only peaked in the original trilogy and then nothing else was good. So yeah, whatever. Anyway, back to episode 4. I found this one kind of boring. I really like the world building, but obviously the action and whatnot, very 70s. It's very old. But again, I'm just a Gen Zer, so what do I know? What do I know about movies? But again, I do love the world building, and I do love how this movie essentially kicked off the entire movie industry as we know it. Like basically every movie after this one was just parodying it or just being inspired by it. So movie culturally, like having a huge impact on culture as we know it, this thing would be like S tier. But as an objective movie on its own, it's all right. I didn't mind the storytelling. I just kind of found it a bit boring. But that's just me. What do I know? What do I know? I'm also noticing Rogue One and Solo aren't on this list, which is not good. Not good. I'll get to those when I get to those. Hopefully I don't forget them. Yeah, that's not good. Okay. I know I didn't include them on this list. That's weird. Then we have episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. This goes into master category. I won't say it's the absolute best, but I understand why people like it. It's a really good movie. We have Return of the Jedi. This one goes into Grand Master. This movie is amazing. The first half is not the first half. Jabba's palace was entertaining to me. What was boring was like the Battle of Endor. We had like 2 halves of the Battle of Endor, the first half and the second half. And the first half was the one that was kind of boring. The second half was amazing. That was just beautiful. But the first half, I did find it a bit boring. But this movie in general was amazing. A masterpiece of a movie. I love the ending. I tear up every time. And just, this is how you end a franchise. Of course, the sequels had to come in and ruin it, but I love this movie. It really stuck the landing. This shows you that a great story really truly can come from the ending. And I just don't understand those people who say that Return of the Jedi is the weakest of the original trilogy, because it really isn't. Then we have episode 7, which I honestly find to be better than episode 1. This was my first Star Wars movie. This is how I got introduced to the Star Wars universe. So I feel like I owe this movie a lot. It really does feel like a breath of fresh air, and less boring than episode 1. But I mean episode 4, sorry, episode 4. But yeah, so it's not the best, and it is a sequel movie, but I dare say it's probably the best of the sequel movies. This is really good. I'm not gonna lie. It's a good movie, good movie. If you really want to get into Star Wars, I would advise you either going with this one, episode 4, Rogue One, or Solo. You have a lot of movies you can choose to get into a Star Wars universe with. Then we have The Last Jedi. This is an all right movie. It's all right. I've already given my thoughts on it, but it's a very all right movie. I find it to be good. At the end of the day, it's a good movie. Objectively good movie. Story-wise, not great, but everything else to do with it is amazing. This is by far the best looking Star Wars movie to date. And yeah, so from a movie making standpoint, I really enjoyed this movie. From a story standpoint, it's all right. But from a writing standpoint, it's also good. Like, I don't feel like there was anything written in it that was outrageously bad. Not like episode 9. This one was a mess. I did not enjoy this movie. At first I did, because it was like the conclusion to the sequel trilogy. But then the more I thought about it, the more I just realized, yeah, this movie is kind of like vanilla, isn't it? It's like, it promised to stick the landing. Like, it promised to give us a good landing, but It didn't. I really hated the ending. I really hated the entire third act. This movie is like is like the direct opposite to Return of the Jedi. Whereas Return of the Jedi, you could argue like the first half of the movie was a bit boring, then the last half was amazing. This movie, the first half of the movie was really good. Like it had some strong stuff in its first half. And then in the second half, it was, oh boy, that was a bad movie. I did not enjoy this movie. It left a bad taste in my mouth after I was done with it. Not as bad as like, for example, Troll Hunters Rise of the Titans, but it did definitely annoy me that ending, especially like with the whole Rey Skywalker stuff. Like why not Rey Palpatine? If they call this movie like The Rise of Palpatine, it would have been 10 times better because we'd think that Palpatine is the one who's gonna win, he's gonna save the day. But nope, it's actually Rey. And turns out a Palpatine was a hero at the end of the day. I don't know. It really felt like this movie was trying to like secure the legacy of like the rise of Skywalker, and it just, I mean, like of the like the Skywalker saga, it just did not work in my opinion. I did not like the second half of this movie. It felt very rushed, and like it was trying to clean up the mess the Last Jedi made, and yeah, I just did not like the second half. The first half was like pretty good. I liked it. The second half was a mess, and overall, again, it was very rushed. This felt like a video game of a movie, not well done. This was not a well done movie. I'm not gonna lie. I have not seen the, what do you call it? The Lego Adventures, free Build a Free Adventures, whatever you call them. Uh Crap. All right, so I was saying I've never seen like the Lego Free Make Adventures or whatever, Lego Star Wars stuff, and that's weird because like I would usually like follow the Lego Star Wars things that they would upload on YouTube, but I have never seen this, nor do I plan to. I've seen like a clip and I'm like, yeah, this is kind of boring, very kiddie, not for me. The Mandalorian. This is very A tier, I would say. Is it better than Empire? I would say to an extent it is. I liked the first season. I really liked how the first season stood on its own legs and told an interesting story. And again, out of 8 episodes, I would dare say there's only one filler episode. And then we have the second season. The second season has a lot of strengths, but a lot of weaknesses. But I feel just because of all the fan service the second season had, I like it a lot better than the first one. For those who have been long-time fans of my channel, you probably know that I was trying to review the entire second season of Mandalorian, but then I couldn't because I couldn't find the last 4 episodes. So I only stuck with the first four and I never gave an official review of the season, but that's neither here or there. So I might as well talk about the second season. I really like that season. Though it does ring a lot of bells, there's a lot of the same bells that the Bad Batch rings, in that in every episode we have to meet a character from like another Star Wars movie or show. And I just find it very weird. Like we meet Bo-Katan, we meet Boba Fett, we meet Ahsoka, Luke. It's crazy, but some of these are very warranted. I like the last episode with Luke and his always scene, just perfect. By far one of the best scenes in Star Wars, and just amazing. I liked Ahsoka's episode, and Bo-Katan is like fine. I didn't really care about that too much, but Boba Fett was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, we got like way too many cameos. Like the second season had a lot of fan service in it. You could argue that it was a bit too much fan service, but for me, I feel like it was like on that line, like it was bordering on the line of too much fan service. But yeah, I like the Mandalorian, pretty good season, a pretty good show, I mean, and I like the second season a lot more than the first one. Can't wait to see season 3. Then we have Rebels. Rebels, I would put it not in the A tier, but probably like the best of B tier. I didn't really care for the first season. That felt like a kiddie show. You know, it was very basic, very boring. I didn't care for the first season. The second season, it had like a lot of mini arcs in it that I liked, and the final episode, like the final two-part episode, was beautiful. That was nothing short of amazing. So a lot better than the first one. The third season, I really liked it. A lot more like larger arcs in this one I liked, especially like with the twin sons and the you know like where the Empire season, really like that. Season 4, you could argue it's more or less on the same level as season 3. I don't know which one's better because season 4 has the better ending, but not as many great arcs as season 3 did, but I did like both season 3 and 4 a lot more than 1 and 2. So 4 had like the amazing ending, which is like so open-ended. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen next? And I can't wait to see what they do with Ahsoka, because I know they're planning on making an Ahsoka show. So I hope in that one we finally find Ezra and like we have like a big story. It feels like there's a big story cooking up there. So I really like the ending. Left it very open, and yeah, the fourth season was really good. So didn't really care for the first season. The second season had some things I liked, and then the third and fourth season were like really good, really strong stuff. Yeah. Then we have Resistance. Talk about a kids show. I hate this show. It is single-handedly the worst piece of Star Wars media I've ever seen. And now, since there's nothing in this TRP, I don't like sand. I'm just gonna remove that real quick. There we go. Okay. This is single-handedly the worst piece of Star Wars media I've ever seen. I don't even care if it's canon. In fact, if anything, I wish it wasn't canon. It is so bad. The first season was very kiddie, but the last 4 episodes were like very intriguing. Like they were sort of, like, oh my gosh, we're actually having a story here. We're actually having a good story with, consequences and such. I like this. And then the second season starts and it's boring AF. I hated the second season. And the way there was like so much promise for it. But the problem is, by the time the first season was aired, the second season was already made. So no matter how much promise there was for it, there was no going back. The second season was just as kiddie as the first, if not even more. And again, I basically only watched the finale of the second season because I just could not slog through the entire 20 episodes. This show sucks. There was so much potential for it. And that's why I hate it. As I mentioned in like, I think another video of mine, there were like 3 things I hated when it comes to movies: bad things, boring things, and wasted potential in media. And this was not just bad. It was not just boring, but it was full of wasted potential. I really thought we would have gotten more of this show, and I could sit here like talking more and more about it. But I do think I already talked about this in my Resistance review. So you can like go check out that video if you want. But basically, yeah, I was just mentioning like how so much wasted potential, how this could have been a show building up the Resistance and leading into episode 7, or better yet, this could have been a show crossing in between 7, 8, and 9. We see what's going on behind the scenes with the other characters, but nope, just kiddie fluff. This is not a great way to introduce your kids or your friends into Star Wars. This is horrible. I hate Resistance. Yes, worse than the prequels. Before we end this video, I promised I would mention Rogue One and Solo. So apparently they're not on this list, which I don't understand because they are Star Wars movies and they are canons. I don't know why they're not on this list, but Rogue One would more or less fall into the A, B, C. Rogue One more or less fall into the C tier along with episode 4. I found the first half to be very boring, didn't really care for it. The second half was really good. I liked the battle on, was it Sakaar, the beach planet? I really liked the battle there. And the Vader hallway scene was, cool, bad as ever. Really like that hallway scene, awesome. And yeah, I didn't really have much to say on Rogue One. It's a very okay film. There's so many people out there who's like say Rogue One is the best Star Wars film made by Disney. It's like the best, not sequel film, just the best Disney Star Wars film out there. And they're like hyping it up so much. I don't know, I just kind of find it overrated. There's not really too much awesome about it, but I do understand why people like it. So but for me, I feel like it falls into the C tier. Not the worst, but it's definitely a somewhat good movie. I do like the second half a lot. Then we have Solo. Solo is an underrated gem. That movie is a masterpiece, and I don't understand why people hate it. This is such an overhated and an underhated movie. I mean, and an overhated movie because there are a lot of people who don't know about this movie, and the people who do know about this movie hate it, and I don't understand why. It is such a good movie. If it were up to me, I would probably put it in the master tier. It would probably be the best of master. It beats no, sorry, not the best of master. It's probably less than Empire and less than The Mandalorian because the movie does have its own issues, but it is a really strong movie, a lot better than the other entries on this list. It more or less ties with Empire. I really like Solo. It's a really good movie. I did post a review about it back when it first came out, but when I was like thinking of making this list, I was wondering if I should do another review of it. Like I make a more polished, fresher review of it and I explain why this movie is such an underrated gem, like why it's such a good movie, why people shouldn't hate on it, because it's a fun movie. It's a really fun movie. And if you're like wanting to get into Star Wars, I advise you go in with that movie. So yeah, guys, let me know in the comments or like anyone who knows me or whatever, let me know. Do you want to see a more polished, better review of Solo, a Star Wars story? Do you you want to see like a lot more editing, a lot more fun with it, I could write a script. I could write a script on it. I very much want to give this movie some, some limelight, a chance to shine. It's not the best Star Wars movie out there, not compared to like all these other stuff, but it is an underrated gem. I do feel like this movie has been overlooked, and I just wish a lot more people would watch it. So let me know if you'd actually want me to do a solo review. I'll watch it again. I'll write a script around my video, and I'll definitely deliver. So yeah. Anyways, that's gonna do it for today, guys. I have a big announcement I'll make probably in my next video, but not today. Probably my next video again, probably next week or something. I didn't have a lot of big plans. I guess I have to go watch Star Wars Visions, but yeah. So this is my tier list so far. So in Jedi Grandmaster we have Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi, and Clone Wars. In Master we have Mandalorian and Empire. In Knight we have Rebels, Bad Batch, Force Awakens, and Last Jedi. Padawan, we have what's this? New Hope and Rise of Skywalker. In the I Hate You category, we have Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Resistance. And then Lego Free Adventures, or whatever you call this. I have not watched it. So yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you so very much for watching. I've been Captain Phoenix. Thank you for checking out my channel, liking my videos, subscribing, and yeah, you should do all that. Like if you like, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell to be part of the team, and go check out my other videos. Speaking of which, go check out my second channel, Penguin Ninja, where I post comedy skits. I'll probably have posted one by today, assuming I am not lazy myself to death. But yeah, thank you so very much for watching, guys. I've been Captain Phoenix, and with that, I will see you in another universe.